So I am Scott, and I hope that you're looking more at Aimee than me because I've got her spotlighted and on her screen. I hope that on your screen it's big right there. And I appreciate Aimee coming here. I'm kind of excited about this in here, and I hope you guys are too. We've actually got more on, and I hear a few people coming in there a little bit. And I just want to go through and kind of introduce yourselves and just where you're from. I'm Scott, and I'm from Oregon. And I'll just go down the list here. And Cass, do you want to tell them where you're from? I think she's muted.
Hello, I am an Australian who lives in Cleveland, Texas.
Okay. And
So I have a strange accent.
oh, I like it.
I don't see who's talking.
All right.
No picture for her.
Oh,
Yeah, she's got it. She's got it turned off right now. There she's
Oh,
there.
on.
Oh, we can see part of her.
we couldn't see
Yeah.
who was talking.
Yeah. How about Sandy Byard?
Yes, I'm Sandy. I'm from Chiloquin, Oregon.
Okay. And I'm going to leave Aimee until the end. And Bonnie? Bonnie's from Oregon. She's actually in here, but I'll introduce her. Linda Nyseth.
From Amity, Oregon.
Okay. And Joyce and Sandy.
Joyce from Talent.
Sandy from Talent, Oregon.
Okay. And I got
And Medford and all out.
I got a Lisa on here, and I don't know where Lisa's from.
There she is.
Yeah.
There's Lisa.
Hi, I live in Montgomery, Texas.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
Texas. Wow.
Yeah, that makes the world really small. And welcome, Lisa. I think this might be your first time on.
Yes, it is. Kaz invited me.
Okay. And so you got the Zoom link from her?
Yes.
Yeah, if you'll
Did I,
send
Lisa?
if you'll
Yes.
send me your email, I will put you on my list.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for coming. And Marja.
Oregon, Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
Who?
Anybody I missed?
Where-
I think I got everybody.
Lisa.
No, Barbara Sheeter, Hawaii.
Oh, okay. I just didn't see you on here. Well, I'm trying to write
It's Barbara's phone.
in
We're
Hawaii.
not seeing any of those pictures.
Okay. Well, that's because I've got Aimee on there. And I'm gonna let
Okay.
Aimee kind of introduce herself and get going on there. I'm excited about this. Matter of fact, I think she's gonna do us maybe she'll do us a presentation on is it Canva? Canva?
Well,
Later on.
Canva is what's it actually called? Kind of like it's an application to make things like Word documents, flyers. We use it for my kids' homeschool. I don't know what it would actually be termed. It's you make things on the computer with Canva. So yeah, we were spitballing that would be a presentation, and then I was telling Scott before we started that I just kept thinking of more presentation topics that we could do. So social media marketing was another idea that I had.
Well, I'm listening.
All right, I'm gonna start the
You-
share
Yeah, tell them about you though.
my screen.
Hi.
Okay, share my screen. Start.
I'll tell you when I see it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm starting to see something.
Yeah, you're not seeing the right thing just yet.
No.
How about now?
I am
Oh,
seeing a nice
And I can see
going to
myself.
Farmstands, the newest local trend.
Yes. Farmstands is our topic for today, this time. Newest local trend. So Scott, this is where you come in. Well, in a second. Okay, so I'm Aimee. I am a mom to 4 girls. Our most recent addition joined us just last February. And we live on a multi-generational farm. So that's me and my husband and my kids and my in-laws. And it's easier to say which animals we don't have. We have a milk cow. We have goats. We don't have llamas or alpacas or sheep or donkeys. And that's pretty much it. We have just about every other farmyard critter that you can imagine. So we live on our multi-generational farm, and I homeschool and I'm a mom. So that's who I am. Now, I dream of a farm stand on every corner in every neighborhood. So obviously the question is, what is a farm stand? So Scott, this is where you come in. If they're in the chat, either raise your hand or say, I have. Who has ever been to a farm stand? If, I think there's a little button that you raise your hand. Have you been to a farm stand? Do you know what it is? Maybe you have one yourself. Maybe that's why you're here in the presentation today. What's the audience say?
Well, I think lots of us have been there.
Seen them? Okay. Been to them, seen them.
And here in Talent on my street, a neighbor put one up for their garden stuff that they can use.
Yeah. I love
You're
that.
talking about home ones, not the commercials.
Right.
Wherever.
We have those in Medford that are big and but they're more commercial, but they're homegrown and organic.
Yeah, I love that. And we'll talk about it. Everybody knows about the farmers market, and that's usually very
But these are
seasonal.
different. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I want to make sure everybody knows, I love the back and forth. Unmute yourself. Let's have a conversation. I don't want this all to be about me and my knowledge. This is a subject that I'm really passionate about. And so I would love to have an actual conversation with everybody about it.
Stuff, or is it just free? Do people buy stuff, or is it just free?
Usually people buy it, but there are more community sharing ones like, hey, I have extra tomatoes. They'll be out by my gate for you. So a farm stand, the description that I thought up of is some sort of way to display what a person makes and sells it to their community. And when I think about farm stand, it's very community based. You're selling to your neighborhood. People do come from, miles away to buy, but you'll see here on the screen, these are very different farm stands. These are very different structures. So over here, I don't know if it's on your left or your right. It's on my left, but the one on the cart.
License.
Yep. So there's one on a little wagon. That's probably a bookcase that somebody just put on wheels. They pull out during the day, put what they have for sale, and then pull it back in the garage at night. This middle picture, this is just set up on somebody's front porch. And we'll talk about porch stands too. This person, I pulled these pictures off of Facebook. So well done, whoever's farm stand these are, they look great. A lot of times people won't be able to have a shed, or there's rules in their neighborhoods about what they can and can't have, which we'll talk about also. So one way that they work around that is to put a shelf out on their porch, and people just come up to the front porch. So that's what that middle picture is. And then the really nice one with the teal door there, that is actually my friend's farm stand just down the road from me. And that's more of a storage shed that you would walk into, and then she closes it up at night. So these are just really examples of farm stands. Here's a few more pictures to look at. Everything from, a closet or a storage shed to a full-on barn that you would walk into. So I just wanted to show some examples there.
We have a stand at our house too that it's just on our porch, and the neighbors come in and buy things.
I love that. What's your best seller?
Tomatoes and cucumbers. One year cabbage sold really good, and some years beets sell really good. So it just depends.
Awesome. Yeah. You will find typically that most farm stands, I forgot to say, I live in Central Oregon, just outside of Redmond, and we are heading into winter now. So a lot of the local farm stands are probably
She's
gonna,
in Texas.
yeah.
Evidently not her.
Uh-huh.
Not her.
A lot of the farm stands are going to be probably closing down for the season. There are some that run seasonally, but one thing that you run into here in Central Oregon is the weather. So some of these would not stand up to the weather. So here's my farm stand. My current farm stand is a mini fridge that you see there enclosed, and we sell our milk and our eggs, our extra produce, baked goods. So I have a mini fridge sized farm stand
And she said,
outside of our gate right now. And then my in progress farm stand is an 8x16 shed. And my husband is a master craftsman, and life has been very busy. But as the holidays pass, I really hope to get a little bit more work done on that. So you can see there's definitely a size difference here. It'll be an upgrade when we get going.
I think I should poke that. Okay. Up there.
All right. So our farm stand's even legal. I
Okay,
know.
should I get rid of that?
Okay.
I know a couple of you.
Can
Are we good, Scott?
Joyce,
Yeah.
when you guys talk, you're talking while she's doing the presentation.
And we're making too much noise.
Well, do you know how to mute and unmute?
Cheryl, come here.
You wake up tomorrow.
Okay. Well, just don't talk so close to it, and then you won't interrupt her.
Yeah, my primary. How
Can you mute us? Mute us.
I can actually mute you from here, but I can't unmute you.
Sorry, keep going, folks. I'll see if I can get it figured out.
That's okay. And if you have a question, unmute it. I just can't tell the difference between if you're
I went ahead
talking.
and muted you, Joyce. You just have to figure out how to unmute it from there.
At the top of your picture of your name, it should say mute and unmute.
Yep. Okay.
Good. All right. So I know that a couple of you are in Texas and in other places around the world, the States. So I am in no way, shape, or form an expert. I just have looked into the Oregon legality of farm stands. And so if I had any expertise, it would only apply to Oregon. I know that there's different laws and rules by county, by city. If you're in an HOA, a homeowners association, they often have their own little rules that maybe they shouldn't have about farm stands. But so most of the information I'm going to give today is applicable to Oregon, but do your due diligence. If you want to have a farm stand and you want to move ahead with that, do your due diligence. So legality. I'm in Oregon, so most of my information is going to apply to Oregon. There is a wonderful thing called an Oregon Farm Direct Marketing Law. And I knew this, but I was still surprised as I was doing my research, just making my notes. Oregon is considered one of the most permissive states regarding farm direct marketing. So farm direct marketing means I make it at my house and I sell it to people in my neighborhood, and I don't have to be considered a commercial kitchen or own a restaurant or anything like that. So, and I wrote down the law number if anybody wanted to look that up for more reference. So a big thing about Oregon rules is the annual sales have to be under 50,000. Boy, if I was pushing 49K with my farm stand, I don't think I'd be complaining at all. And only 25% of what I sell at my farm stand can be sourced off farm. 75% of what I sell at my farm stand, I either have to grow it, bake it, make it. There are farm stands even near me and in Oregon that kind of work off a consignment basis. So say I don't have honeybees, but I want to sell honey at my farm stand. There are rules and ways that I can do that, but I can't sell more than 25% of goods in my farm stand. It has to be made by me. 75% I got to do it. So again, check with your county, your city, your HOA regarding the legality before you invest a whole ton of money into your farm stand, just to say, you know, if the county were to say, hey, this is too far next to the road, this is too far next to your neighbor's property, you can't have this at all, you're not zoned for it, please do your due diligence. I would hate for anybody's heart to get broken. I've seen it happen. It hasn't happened to me. I've been super careful, but I've seen it happen to other people. Also, where the Department of Agriculture comes through and says, this is a great thing you've got going on, but there are some things you're selling here that you're not allowed to sell without a license. So we're going to talk about quite a bit of that today. And again, I'm not an expert. Do your due diligence. So where I live is in a homeowners association, but we are zoned residential, rural residential. So I'm not in an purely agricultural community, but I'm also not zoned commercial, and I'm not zoned residential in town. So it's been kind of a sticky one, finding answers to the questions I've had. I do know that in our area, we do have things like rules regarding it has to a size. So it can't be more than a certain size, like 10 by 20 feet or whatever. Once you get a big enough structure, you are now no longer, now they're like, you know, where are your permits? Whereas if you had something maybe closer to the size of a woodshed, or like that picture we saw that's like a closet or a bookshelf, I don't think that anybody's probably going to come knocking on your door about that. So insurance, do you need insurance for a farm stand? That's kind of up to you. Homeowners insurance would sometimes cover a bit of liability, but it's something to think about. Say somebody comes to your farm stand and trips opening the door and breaks their leg, can they sue you? That is a consideration to think about. So there's just so many considerations, but in my opinion, in the end, worth it to deal with. Taxes. I'm going to come back to that slide. Taxes. Everything is a tax deduction if you try hard enough. Author unknown. The bottom line is any money that you earn from selling products is considered income and has to be reported to the IRS. So one way, if you have a farm stand and you're selling a whole bunch, you make so much bread, everybody loves your bread, you're going to be needing to pay taxes. You might start looking at tax breaks, an LLC, a limited liability corporation, or other ways that you could probably lower your tax liability. And then one of my biggest tips is keep records of everything: your baking ingredients, your packaging, your payment processing fees, how much was your, you put a new roof on your farm stand shed, you bought the shed itself, you had to buy a security camera or the subscription, to run your security camera. Keep track of everything, because all of those things, those are counting against the money you're making. So you're going to owe the government less money, which is always a good thing, right?
Now you could even keep track of your electrical use too.
Yep. If you have electricity to it, yeah, totally.
And even you may have to estimate a percentage of what your total power bill is compared to what you think it's using.
Yeah, and if your farm stand is doing really good, and if it's worth it to you, even looking at your utilities like your water. I mean, you're using electricity to bake your bread. You're using water to do your dishes. So there's I would love to have a big enough, a successful enough farm stand that I had to start looking at those things. That'd be a great problem to have. A couple of the other things we're going to talk about today, as far as legalities go, is labeling and food safety. And then the honor system versus you having to sit out at your farm stand every day that you're open all day long. That it's wintertime now in Central Oregon, or just about anyways. Probably 19 degrees outside right now. I would not go and sit outside at my farm stand and wait for somebody to hopefully stop on the road to buy some bread. But there are states that the seller has to be present. They do not have unmanned selling capability. I don't know about Texas. It might be by county. When you get a little bit farther east, Tennessee, some of the Midwest states, they really have some strict rules that people have had to be creative or flexible, and they can't have a farm stand where they're not there. So that's a really hard thing to work around. And one of the ways people have done that is just do it on special order. Like, hey, this is what I make. Would you like to place an order? And then they meet them like at the door, at the end of the driveway, because then it's face to face.
That's interesting you say that, because when I was a young man growing up, we grew up in Utah, a lot of fruit stands, and you'd go to them, and actually there was nobody there, but the fruit was there, the stand was there, the money can was there. It was usually a coffee can, and it'd have money in it, and different days and different times though. And if you didn't have the right change, you'd put the $20 bill in and take out the change that you needed and take the fruit and leave. And nowadays I'm afraid that the fruit would be gone, the money would be gone, and so would the stand.
Yep, that is a risk, and that is something that happens to people. I think that there's a few ways to protect yourself against that risk. But I love that you mentioned that, Scott. The entire idea of a farm stand is keeping it community, really getting to know your neighborhood, your neighbors, selling right there in the community. 100 years ago, we didn't go to Walmart. Our grandparents, great grandparents, whatnot, didn't go to Walmart. You went to the general store, and they probably knew the people, where the eggs came from, where the bread came from. You took your flour down to the mill. It was a very different world, even 10 years ago. But the farther back you look, I think a farm stand matches the economy and kind of the social structure that used to be. And I think that we would be a lot better off trying to return to, honestly.
I agree.
Food safety. So I'm in Oregon. You can go online to that website, pay $10, take a test, take a test, and get your food handler's card. It's good for 3 years. Super easy to do. If you're doing anything with food, anything edible, to put in your farm stand, here in Oregon, you need that Oregon food handler's card, the food handler's safety. Of course, it has a big fancy name. I did it. I got it. It was really easy to do. $10, right?
It's a very easy test.
Yes, it was. There were some silly questions on there. We laughed about them.
I've had one for years.
Yeah. It's kind of an easy test. So back to the point about taxes and keeping records and knowing how much it's costing you to do the thing that you're doing. You've got to know your profit margins. If you're not making money doing it, if you're going in the hole, having a farm stand, it'd be great if you had the money to go in the hole. Some people do this as a hobby. They love to bake. They don't care about making a huge profit margin. But for other people, they're really able to contribute a substantial amount of money to their families by having a farm stand. That's a goal of mine, is not to just do it as a hobby. The timing just hasn't worked out yet to be doing that. So you have to know your profit margins. Do not sell yourself short. Do not undercharge your time, your talent, your costs. It takes time to wash the dishes. So if I'm having to wash a whole bunch of extra dishes, I'd like to be making a little bit of money for doing that, right? I put on here a screenshot of an app you can get probably on your tablet, maybe on the computer, but on your phone, I do most of whatever on my phone. This is an app called Cake Cost. And when I first started making baked goods to sell, I would have my ingredient list and I would go to the grocery store and I would write down, it's this much for a bag of sugar, 3-pound bag of sugar. And then I'd look at my recipe and say, okay, so if it's $3 for $10 for this much sugar, and I need half a cup of sugar, how much money in cents am I using to make this recipe? Ridiculous. It's so much easier than that if you don't have to make it that complicated. Then my friend said, hey, look at this app you can get. It's called Cake Cost. So much easier than what I was doing with a paper and a pen and a recipe on the grocery store aisles. It's a great app that I would recommend to anybody who is doing any sort of baking for sale. You just type in your ingredients, how much of what you make for the recipe, and then it breaks it down. Here's how much money it costs you in sugar to make these chocolate chip cookies, etc. And then, so that's just a screenshot of an example on the app. And it tells you, here's your cost on baking a dozen chocolate chip cookies. So then you can look at it and say, okay, well, my time is worth this much. And it really breaks it down for you. So pretty cool tool. Is it better? Another little bit of audience participation. Put it in the comments or raise your hand, maybe thumbs up, thumbs down. Is it better to ask for forgiveness or is it better to ask for permission? I don't know if you've ever been in a situation in life like that. I think probably it's better to ask for permission. I'm actually the kind of person who I will gather all the information, and if I have to ask for permission, I probably just won't do it, honestly, because I don't like confrontation. So is it better to ask for forgiveness or is it better to ask for permission? Do we have any audience members chiming in on that one?
It's better to ask for permission. I'm a rule follower.
Yeah, yeah.
I think a person has to look at the particular situation because sometimes if you ask for permission, especially from some government agencies, they'll tell you no, even though
Right.
because they don't know.
Yep.
So I think you need to kind of analyze the situation.
I think that's a very good point. Very good point.
I mean,
Yeah. So
there's
that
things that are really cut and dry, but there's some other things, and if they don't know, they'll just say no.
Yep. Yep. And sometimes they don't want to have a lengthy conversation. They want you to, come down to the city hall to actually ask your questions, which isn't necessarily a bad thing to do. So, size and structure regarding permits, like I mentioned before, where I live, and it varies by county, varies by city, HOA, and then of course by state. Some things if you keep it under a certain size, you're good with a farm stand. Maybe a little 6x8 or something like that. So there's square footage restrictions.
I think we froze up.
Yeah.
And that happens. Sometimes if the internet slows down or something like that, yeah,
Right.
whoever will do it, it'll kind of
Oh, I've had that problem before.
Yep.
I'm interested to know what the dimensions are, the legal dimensions for the requirements here in Oregon. I know of two different stands that are local. One, she doesn't even stand out there. She just puts her bread out in a little shed that's decorated in a very cute way out on the corner of the curb. And it's on your honor system payment.
Yeah,
And that's really a fun thing to be able to drive by. And the second one, she's been able to rent a commercial space now with her sourdough bread. And she's able to run her business now. She's only open a couple of days a week. And you just know to go in on those days, and she has great bread. So it's been fun to see how those two stands have grown.
yep. So I think Amy's froze up in there someplace, so her internet's probably dropped down.
So Rebecca, are you talking about the one that's over near Peterson School?
Yes. Yes, there's one on the street right there.
Yes. And she's also opened a full-fledged restaurant now.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, she's down behind my store. Yeah, they're open. I don't know if they're open every day for breakfast, but some nights for dinner as well as lunch.
I love it.
That's the old A&W.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she has reopened her farm stand though on certain days. And then the restaurant is open, I think 5 days a week, maybe 6.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that that's growing as well. The sourdough company, I can't remember the name of it, but they're next to the book trader off of
Yes.
6th Street. And she's got great bread. In fact, I went in there. This is the kind of customer service that I was so impressed with. I went in there to buy a loaf of bread for a friend because I knew she specifically liked that person's sourdough. It didn't trouble her stomach. Anyway, so I went in to buy it, and I had not realized that she was not. And knocked at the door, and she came to the door. I told her what I needed, and she walked back inside, picked up a loaf of bread, handed it to me, and said, "Just come and visit me another day when I'm open." And she would not accept payment. So I've tried to make sure I go back several times and purchase bread,
Sure.
but that was just a gift that was given, and very unexpected. Anyway, great customer service.
So I think Amy has dropped off for whatever reason. I think we ought to just stay here and wait for her to come back.
And we have a lady here in Chiloquin that does that. She bakes fantastic stuff. And recently she took over a small restaurant in Chiloquin. So she's open just a few days a week. But before that, she had a spot on our Chiloquin webpage, and she put out what she made that day, and then you can just call her and order it.
Nice.
So I'm going to take a minute and try to call her.
Okay.
Okay, Karen asked about our stand that we have here, and it's just our excess produce that we have, and people sometimes order ahead, like on our beans and stuff like that we only pick a couple times a week. They'll call and order to make sure that we have beans for them, and it's just here at the house, and somebody's usually here, so they just drop by whenever. Works good.
I think they're absolutely wonderful to do. And I know this is one thing that I had talked about in one of my presentations on food waste, was how important it is that if you have extra, that you put it out where someone else can benefit from it. And you can benefit a little bit extra because of the income that you get. So it just helps all around.
Yes, it's better that we can sell ours than feed it to the cows. So,
Yep.
Right.
Oh, I wish
Exactly.
I had done that this year with I'd have just given anything if people would have come and picked my apples more this year. Rebecca did. She's about the only one. Rebecca and Sue came and got some of my apples, and that's about it this year. And now they're all laying on the ground waiting for the birds and the raccoons and the deer to eat.
uh-huh. But you often get those that, well, yeah, I'd like some if you would bring it to the house, pick it and bring it to the house.
Well, I did take 2 big bucketfuls down to the store, so
Okay,
looks
so
like Amy's back.
Are we back?
yeah,
Yes.
I probably have to make
So
it cold.
sorry.
That's no problem. We deal with these. I make it coast again.
Okay.
We did really good. We talked about you while you was gone.
Oh, great.
It was all positive.
Okay. Let's. Can you still see me?
Yeah, we're starting to see you're sharing your
Okay.
screen, and I'll tell you which ones you're coming up on there. You got not allowed, and not allowed.
Okay, so I think we're back. All right.
We're doing fine. I always tell people we're amateurs working for perfection.
There you go. Oop,
Oh.
I touched the wrong thing again. Okay.
Yeah, it says allowed, not allowed.
Okay. All right. I think where I left off, I really had a goal that the new farm stand would be going for the holidays. I love baking. I love decorating seasonally. So the holidays would be a great time to have a farm stand, right? All the cakes and the cookies and the decorating the farm stand. I was really looking forward to it, but it didn't work out that way, and that's okay. So there on the allowed side, it says you can make baked goods, there's some snacks, there's some confectionery items like candy that in Oregon you are allowed to sell at a farm stand. I was really looking forward to that, but that's okay because now I've got all these ideas and all my plans for next year. Things you're not allowed to make and sell at your farm stand: items containing meat or dairy. I can't make dinner rolls and sell them that maybe had chopped ham and cheese in them. That ham in there, straight out. I can't do it. But in general, it's the time or temperature safety controlled items that I'm not allowed to sell in my farm stand. There's another good website down on the bottom as a resource for you. I'm trying to turn the page. There we go. There are a lot of things you can make. I put a big old list up there on the screen, and then again with the website. And if you had something in mind, you're like, I need to make my great grandma's recipe and sell it at a farm stand. That would be so unique. People would love it, but you don't know if it would be okay. There's a phone number there that you can call and run it past them. So this is the yes list. It's really a pretty big list. You always have to look on the bright side, right? What can I make instead of thinking about what you can't? So that's the yes list. And the no list. Items that require refrigeration. Straight out, can't do it. If you wanted to do that, there is a thing called a farm stand license that you can get in touch with the Department of Agriculture. It would require your agriculture inspector to come out, and he would test with his temperature gauge your fridge or your freezer in your farm stand. You have to keep a refrigeration log. I haven't had super great luck with somebody giving me a list of exactly what it would take to get a farm stand license. That's kind of an elusive thing. They haven't really been super willing to share with me. It is Oregon after all, right? So you cannot make marijuana edibles to sell at your farm stand. It's straight out. Meat jerkies, that falls into the meat category. Baked goods containing meat, can't sell it at your farm stand. Here's the biggest bummer of all. Are you guys ready for this? I love myself a cinnamon roll with thick cream cheese frosting. Isn't that just the best thing ever?
Yes.
I cannot sell my cinnamon rolls with cream cheese frosting at my farm stand because of the cream cheese. So it's sad powdered sugar icing that we have to go with. So the restrictions, yes, no, these are the things just briefly to give you an idea what you can and can't do. Now, Oregon's Farm Direct Marketing Law does allow for some producer processed low acid items. There's a girl down the road from me, makes awesome jam, super awesome jam. This little flowchart I got from the Oregon State University Extension Office website. I put it over there on the side of the screen under additional resources. A really great flowchart that says, okay, tell me about the item, and then goes through the questions. Can you sell it? Can you not sell it? So there's some low acid items, maybe pickles, jams, things like that. Those home canned things that you buy at vendor events, farm stands, that good stuff, right? That I'm not very good at making, but I totally buy from somebody else. There are guidelines letting you make some of them and to sell at your farm stand. All right. Sourdough. Farm stands are trending, right? Sourdough is very trending right now. Almost every farm stand that I've ever seen or been to sells sourdough, and they sell out all the time. But I've seen a lot of really good farm stands also. I just said a lot and a lot. Most farm stands are selling sourdough, but there are good farm stands, perfectly successful, that don't sell sourdough. So you definitely can have a great farm stand without selling sourdough. This is an example menu of a baker near me that she also sells sourdough, but she sells regular baked goods, not sourdough also. So this is just an example of her menu, of her price list. And people pay this. I don't know how many of you in the group right now are bakers. Some of you, are we still good?
Yeah, we're good.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. Cass, thank you for messaging me. I just wanted to make sure that we were still good. I saw when we just first got on that there's some grandma ladies there in the chat, and I bet you guys make some really great baked goods. So you who do bake might look at this price list and go, I wouldn't pay that for that. I just make it myself. But there's a lot of people out there in the world who don't bake, and they want the home baked goods, and they are perfectly willing to spend the money like shown on the screen for the baked goods. And
the prices are very comparable to what Sarah does, and she sells out all the time.
Yeah. So some of you might be looking at this and saying that price is way too high, or yeah, that's average, or I would charge more. And that's completely up to the baker. And that's why I say know your cost. Know
And
your
the
cost,
quality.
right?
Her quality is worth the price.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. So that was just an example menu of a baker near me who doesn't do exclusively sourdough. And now you're going to say, but I don't bake at all, so I wouldn't have anything to sell at my farm stand. Well, I'm glad you think that, because I'm about to change your mind. There are so many things that you can sell at a farm stand that aren't even necessarily edible and definitely aren't baked goods. So me and my kids actually, I had my kiddos help me brainstorm, and I think I've seen everything that I put on here for sale at a farm stand, either online or in person. Woodworking, bird houses, hand-turned wooden spoons, Jewelry, of course, earrings, necklaces, honey. And then in Oregon, there's some other restrictions about that honey. But honey, I know, is a really good seller at farm stands. Sewing, I love to sew. One of the ladies there on our meeting today, I saw your name starts with an L, and in the background I saw you had some quilts. I would love to come and sew with you one day. I sewn things do really great at farm stands. I put a picture up there of the little inkwell and the feather and the clock. That's supposed to represent antiques. There's a gal, I think she's in Texas, that I follow on TikTok, and she has a really blended farm stand. She sells some found items like thrifted or vintage or upcycled, as well as the produce from their farm and her bread. So you could sell your thrifted treasures, a few of those there at your farm stand. The picture of the teacher, you could use your farm stand to promote classes or courses that you teach. Soap making, whatever it is that you have, that you know how to do, that you would teach somebody else to do, you can use your farm stand to promote that. Some of the other pictures I have on here: paintings, milk, photographs, bookmarks, books. I know some people who have made really awesome books about Oregon history and then put them in their farm stand, or carry books that somebody else, a friend of theirs, has made or published, and those in the farm stand. Bath and body products, again, there are restrictions there, labeling requirements, whatnot, but again, a really good seller. Lotion, lip balm, bath bombs, that kind of thing. You know, Christmas is coming, and I hope that all the farm stands near me, I know they're going to do really great with offering these handmade, really giftable items that aren't food at all. Loose leaf teas, I already said paintings. Produce, you get into the seasonal thing. Produce in the springtime, plant seedlings. That's one thing that we've done in the past and went really, really well. Plant seedlings, plant cuttings. That would be a really great idea for somebody who didn't necessarily live in a rural or agricultural area. You just have a little farm stand cupboard in town. But your hosta plant, your spider plant's doing really great. I've seen that quite a bit. People sell the little plant starts, and it goes really well. Soap, candles, cut flowers. There's a really cool flower farm near us that, you know, when it's flower growing season, obviously not right now in Central Oregon, they do you pick flowers. Do you knit or crochet? If you do, can you please teach me how to knit? Because I can only crochet and I really want to learn how to knit. Pottery, farm-raised poultry, turkey, or chickens. Again, there are laws and amounts that you can or can't sell, but also something you can do. You couldn't probably sell it in your farm stand unless you went through your Department of Agriculture inspector and had freezers and everything, but you could definitely advertise it and then sell it direct to the consumer. I felt like me and my kiddos came up with a pretty comprehensive list here, but I'm curious to see if anybody there in the chat, is there anything on here that you've seen at a farm stand that I didn't maybe include? Something really unique that you've seen or heard of that people sell at their farm stands that I didn't think of?
Looks like a very comprehensive list.
Yeah, we're going to be real busy, aren't we?
It gave me some ideas for myself.
I love that. That was the whole point. Yeah.
We have a thing here that's called Friday Market. Takes place in a parking lot downtown in Chiloquin, small town.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that stuff representative in the Friday Market. Everybody got all these different talents, and they all get together and set up their tables, and they sell out.
I love it. It's community commerce. It's bringing that back to keeping the money in the community, supporting your neighbors, and just really keeping it local and out of the big box stores.
Right. And the people also take special orders from people that come in and say, oh, I'd like one guy I know that makes signs, and he does fantastic
I
business.
bet he does. That's great. Okay, so you got your farm stand. How are you going to get paid? How do these people get paid at their farm stands? Well, it doesn't have to be cash only. A lot of them, some of them, I keep making these generalities. Some farm stands are cash only, and so a locking cash box that is screwed to the wall would definitely be recommended. I would urge anybody doing a farm stand to also have security cameras. Several, maybe one pointing right outside the farm stand that could catch license plates, and then also a security camera pointing at your cash box. It's just kind of a bit of a cover your butt thing. Unfortunately, we do live in a society where people would steal from you, whether they needed it or not. So as sad as that is, security cameras, locking cash box, those are going to be in your favor. I put this little sign up here too. In this digital age, there are apps where people can pay you on their phone. There's Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Apple Pay. There are others too. You can make this cool little sign that has the QR codes that you scan in whichever way that they want to pay you. They can just scan that QR code and send you the money through their phone for whatever they bought at your farm stand. And that works really well too. So what makes a farm stand successful? We've talked about a whole bunch of things. There's lots, of course, factors to it, but I'm going to tell you the one key factor to farm stand success. It's you. You make or break your farm stand. You are the one that is going to make this work, and I believe in you. But of course, sorry, did I interrupt somebody? Nope, we're good. Of course, there's factors, right? There's location. I live 50 miles down a gravel road and nobody drives by my house. That's probably somebody who might participate in the farmer's market once a week, like there is there in Chiloquin on Fridays. However, location, right? I'm not on a busy corner of town. I'm on a pretty low-key street. Or so location, yeah, that's going to play a factor. But I also think you can find ways not to work around it, but to still be successful. Reliability. Are you open this month on a Tuesday, one Tuesday, but next month I'm open every day of the week? And then I'm just not feeling it. So I'm going to do only Saturdays and Sundays the next month. Like, people have to know in your community, kind of get a feel for, well, she's not open on Saturdays. We don't sell on Saturdays, my family. So when I have my big farm stand, it's not going to be open on Saturdays. And a lot of people are really successful only having weekend farm stand days. Farm stands who are only open on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or just Saturday, Sunday. So if we're looking at, what really makes you successful, is my farm stand not going to succeed because I won't sell on Saturday? No, I still believe we can be successful. But people will get to know, like our milk customers that come and buy our cow milk, they know that they can't pick up cow milk on Saturday. And we've kind of established that reliability. Location and reliability. Oh,
did you say you sell cow milk?
We do sell raw cow milk here on our farm.
That was one of my questions I was going to ask you, because I know some states in Utah where I grew up, you could buy raw milk, but you had to go to pick it up.
Yep.
You couldn't buy it in the store or anything like that.
There are pickup locations around Central Oregon, licensed dairies or whatnot, but for us here, I can't deliver the milk, and I can't have another farm stand carry my milk. It has to, the cow is here, so the milk has to be sold here.
Right.
So
Faye Spencer in Kansas put a question in the chat.
Sure.
She asked. And Faye, are you muted?
I'm here.
Go ahead and ask your question.
Well, I have a new one or a statement. I don't know where I put my question.
So your question was on SNAP.
Oh, yes. So if you had a food stand and can people that receive SNAP benefits use them?
Yeah. So is your question if they can use that at a farm stand?
Yes.
The farm stand would have to be registered with the SNAP benefit program. So in order for the farm stand to get paid by the SNAP program. So I don't know of any farm stands near me that have gone that route. However, a lot of the farmers markets, the vendors who, or the farmers, the producers who take their stuff there to more of a vendor event, farmers market, I do know that people go there and use their SNAP benefits at different vendors there, but it's quite a bit bigger production.
I have a friend that has a cut flowers business, and she goes to two markets, one in Salina, Kansas, and one in Manhattan. Then in Salina, she also has special boutiques or beauty salons that she will take fresh cut flowers or dry flower arrangements to. Plus, she also has established catering, such as birthday parties or making bridal bouquets.
That is awesome. That is great. I love that. Advertising, I bet she's really great at advertising. That is a factor for, of course, the success of a farm stand. And advertising just isn't, can it be seen from the road? Do people know to stop there at the end of your driveway? It could be signs. And then, of course, one of my favorite topics, social media marketing.
Yes.
That's how you get the word out. If nobody knows you exist, they don't know to come and buy what you've made and put out for them. And then the last one that I thought of really to put down there is quality. If you don't bake good bread, if your muffins taste like dish soap, you're probably not going to have any repeat buyers, you know? So quality of products is one thing that's going to keep people coming back to your farm stand. And then they're going to tell their friends and they're going to come too. So advertisement, word of mouth. I bought the world's best banana bread from the lady down the road, and I told everybody about it. And then the next week, me and all my friends went and bought her banana bread. So word of mouth, right? Social media, networking. I know pretty well all the people here in my community who have farm stands, and we help each other out. Their social media posts, I post on my farm's Facebook page, and they kind of do the same thing. We show each other's social media posts all the love. We like it. We share it. We're encouraging each other. So not saying I'm not talking to any of the other farm stand owners around here because I'm doing my own thing. That's not going to get you anywhere. Even if they sell duck eggs and I sell chicken eggs, but I don't want to associate with them. It's just that's not the culture we're going for. So word of mouth, social media, networking, and of course, signage. There's those rules again. There are rules. A friend of mine had several of her signs picked up by the county road department that, gave directions to her farm stand or said, farm stand this way. And then at first she thought that somebody had stolen her signs, which of course wouldn't be very nice. But it turned out the county road department had picked them up because where I live, there's rules about, it's a public road. So you can't be just leaving signs out there all the time. For a yard sale for a weekend, that'd probably be fine. So again, there's rules about signage. Come on, slideshow. There we go. Social media. There's so many options. TikTok, Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. A blog would be a really great thing to, get the word out. And even if you live in a rural area, and somebody from one of you friends here from Texas, you read my blog article about my farm stand, you're probably not going to drive out here, but you might tell a friend about it who just happens to be visiting Central Oregon. So the more people you tell about it, the more that you can share your story and the experience about your farm stand, the more people who are going to come. Farm stand etiquette, manners, right? Be original. Don't copy the farm stand down the street. I really believe that everybody has something unique to offer. You're bringing your own flavor, your personality to your farm stand. You don't need to copy the person down the street. I might use the same label printer that the lady down the road uses for her farm stand, but that's not me trying to be just like her. Be original, be unique. Don't copy people. It's not nice. Support other farm stands. I shop the other farm stands around us. I really do. I like their stuff. I want to support them. I want all of us to have great farm stands. There's enough for everybody. There's enough in this community to go around. And practice thankfulness always. There's going to be bad days. You run your farm stand even just on the weekends and you just have a dead weekend, man. You got to run a 50% off sale on Monday because no bread sold all weekend. Don't let it get you down. Maybe it was a holiday weekend. Everybody went camping. The weather wasn't great. Everybody was working in their garden, so they didn't come to the farm stand. Just practice thankfulness always. You got to be grateful for the days you could do great and the days you don't do great. So I really feel like that'll benefit you in the end. And then lastly, don't badmouth the competition. That is not going to be good when it gets around to your customers and the other farm stand owners that you've been telling everybody how their banana bread tastes like dish soap. Might be true, but don't be going and telling all your customers that. Farm stand alternatives. So we talked about there's a state where you cannot have an unmanned farm stand. So they've had to come up with other things to do. Maybe the zoning for your city or state where you live, the zoning says you absolutely cannot have a farm stand. Absolutely not. But you have really great products. Either you bake or you paint or your bookmarks or your birdhouses. You really want to share them with the community. A farm stand is not your only option. I wish I had a picture of her to share with you, but there is a really sweet grandma lady that lives down the road from me. She doesn't have a farm stand, but about once a week, she drives down her driveway and sits at the end of her driveway with the back of her car up, and she has a little table there, and she sits there in her apron, and she has one of those flags at the end of her driveway, and she sells her quick breads, her sweet breads, banana bread, blueberry bread, pumpkin bread, and she does a really great. And again, she's reliable. She's been there week after week after week, usually Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The quality is amazing. She's friendly, and people have got to know her, got to depend on her being there, like, oh, we have company coming over this weekend and I don't have time to bake. I'm going to go down to Oma's driveway, which is what she calls it, and pick up some quick bread for breakfast. So that's another example of not a farm stand, but she's been doing really great. So farmers markets, craft fairs. Me and my kiddos do craft fairs since we don't have the farm stand to sell our crafts in right now. Pop-ups where you maybe have a social media following and then you tell the community the first Friday of every month, I'm gonna put my garage doors open. You can come in and shop. So that's kind of what a pop-up is. Flea markets, vendor events, special orders, people that just do not have a place to leave out maybe a farm stand. They can't go sit at the end of the driveway. They do special orders. A good friend of mine had a sourdough gig going on a couple years ago that was really great for her. And she would take special orders and then she did delivery. And I think that fuel was probably a little bit less than that might not work out monetarily for everybody. Or porch pickup. Remember at the beginning of the presentation, I showed you a picture of somebody's front porch and they had a little shelf out there. If you were going to do like a special order or pop-up or porch pickup, sort of a model for your farm stand, I've put a website and an app on here that I know people who use, and they're really great. Hot Plate and Bakesy. Both of those you can use to take special orders so you know what's coming in and have those ready. There's so many tools these days for your success. I just love it. Inspiration and support. Well, number one, I'm cheering you on with your farm stand endeavor. I hope that we can connect if you're here or watching this even after it's recorded and then posted, and you say, wow, you inspired me to have a farm stand, or I've always wanted a farm stand, but I had all these questions. Let's connect through, email, social media, whatever. So I can cheer you on as you go on this endeavor. And like you saw at the beginning of the presentation, I don't have it all figured out, and I certainly don't have it all together just yet, but I have aspirations and hopes and dreams of this farm stand journey. I put a picture here on the screen of a Facebook group I found really helpful. It's a public group. It has a whole bunch of members. It's called Show Off Your Farm Stand Ideas and Pictures. So whether it's for support or inspiration or ideas of designs or whatnot, again, don't copy people, but just go get some ideas. You can go to that Facebook group. All right, so the $1 million question. All of these farm stands are popping up. I see new ones. I feel like in the warmer weather, in the summertime, I was seeing new ones like every week. Now we're getting into winter and some of them are going to be closing down. But aside from the seasonality of it, is this a fading fad, or is this a trend that is here to stay? I think that this time next year, there might not be as many farm stands. Let's talk about it like in summer. Okay, so midsummer. Do I expect all of the farm stands I saw this last August to be up and running still next August? I'll be honest and say no. I think burnout is a huge factor. People just get tired. You've got all the steam when you really start out, and then in the end, like, yeah, I just can't do this anymore. Like, I can't keep up with the dishes, right? Can't keep up with the baking or whatnot. So no, I don't think there's going to be a time where you see no farm stands, like everybody's over it. However, I think there's a lot right now. So you have to weigh it out for yourself, because you might be totally fine with that, saying, yeah, I'm going to do this only in the summertime, or I'm going to try it for a while, and if it doesn't work out, that's fine, because that might happen too. So almost my closing statement. I truly believe that there is enough market demand for everyone to be successful with their own unique offerings, even when their products are similar and in close proximity. I really, truly believe that. So if there's any questions, we can take those. Otherwise, I would love to connect. This is my email. This is my farm's Facebook page and our TikTok page. So let me just make sure I don't have any slides after this. Nope, I'm good. Okay. Questions?
This is a wonderful presentation. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
It was really, really good. And I'll call you later, because I'd like to have at least one of your slides so I can use it for the YouTube when I record it. Maybe the front one.
Okay.
The first one.
Yeah.
Then I can just add on.
I can I'll email you too.
Okay, that'll be
I
right.
can email it to you.
That'll work perfect. Boy, I had a bunch of questions written down here, but you answered every one of them.
Oh.
Down there, so I'm excited about it.
Cool.
And I appreciate you doing it. Is there anyone else that has any questions or comments?
I'm gonna stop sharing the screen so that I can see everybody again.
Yeah, and we get to see, you're still sharing.
Oh, stop share.
There you go.
There you go.
Stop sharing.
Okay.
Now we see you on that. And
Yeah, I think you covered just about everything anybody would want.
I'm glad.
yeah, well, I'm going to ask you in public here a question. And at our state conference, we have some presenters, and we have some time on. I think it's Tuesday, right after lunch, and maybe you could come and do this for us.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You think
I'm
about
not
it.
going to give you an answer right now.
I know I don't want an answer right now. I don't expect an answer.
It
And
would
then
be wonderful.
it's in October, so you got a long time to think about it. All right. Anybody else got any questions? I just
No,
want to
thank you.
I want to thank Aimee again and thank all you guys for showing up. I do have some things scheduled, and you guys are looking at those on the email that I send out. And next week, not next week, next month, it's going to actually be Sally Weifel's daughter, and she's going to do it on Central Valley.
Oh, mid valley advancement.
Advancements, and it's kind of a transition thing, and they did that at their state conference, and it was really, really good. She's excited about it. And then also in February, I have April from Texas going to do one on some crafting items and stuff like that. So I am looking for some others. So I think Aimee, you might have hit a good one on that. Is it Canvas? Canva. Okay. Yeah. I should know that because I know one of the school districts where I substitute, they use it a lot. So, all right. Well, thank you very much. I'll record it. It'll be on Facebook, so you can refer this to your friends. And again, if you want to see all of these, this is actually number 60 that we've done Zoom lessons since the COVID hit. And as long as I got good, great presenters like Aimee here, then I'm going to keep doing it.
Thank you, Aimee.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
you,
you guys
Aimee.
for being here.
Keep up the good work.
Thanks.
Okay. I'm going to close it up. Thanks.
Bye.
Okay.
All right.
I'll see everybody
Thanks
later.
all.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you a lot, Aimee.
Good presentation.
Thank you.
It was really good.